What are the real scientific facts about diets? What do we know that we're not being told in the mainstream media by the celebrities, by the people that are on TikTok and I don't fault them, okay? They only know, what they've been told, and they all repeat the same thing. The diets require lowering calories. The problem with that is they ignore the most important thing, and that is not the calorie itself. The calorie to the human body means nothing. The body can't count calories, doesn't even know what calories are. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain to you from the scientific standpoint of view, really what's going on. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I founded the New Health Conversation movement, which I think we sorely need. It's a registered trademark by the U.S. Patent Office. For the last 20 years, I've been a nutritional researcher, working with some of the greatest minds in medicine, oncology, molecular biology, genetics, nutraceutical chemistry, nutraceutical researchers. And what they have discovered and what they've now come to a conclusion to may shock you. Now, let's talk about the positive. Any diet, you can lose weight. And that normally is the goal when people go on a diet. But what does science say about the weight that you're losing? The weight you're losing is absolutely 100% unhealthy weight loss. For the most part, not 100%, but for the most part, it's lean muscle mass. Now, why is that so bad? Well, here's what happens. When you go on a diet and you lower calories, I've never heard anybody talk about this, you lower the nutrition. When you lower the nutrition, the body freaks out because it runs not on calories. When we're hungry, we're not hungry for calories. We're hungry for nutrition. So all these, for me, a diet is a code word for lower calories. It's just so amazing. They're all saying the same thing. And yet there's an expression that says, based on results, often harsh, but always fair. What's going on? We have 80% of America overweight. 50% of those people are are obese. My gosh, 50% of our kids are overweight. 25% of those kids are, obese. We have 10-year-olds on high blood pressure medication. They're now saying that 50% of the population of the United States is pre-diabetic. Are you? Do you even know? Have you been tested? 50%, that's one of the two. And yet they keep telling us these diets. I don't think we could name a diet that at the end of the day is not some form of, deprivation, of lowering calories. But the whole concept of that is just so wrong. Because again, what the body does when you lower the calories, you also lower the nutrition in the body. It will go and seek the nutrition. And where does it find it? Stored where? In our organs, in our brain, our kidney, our liver, our heart, and our muscles. What actually happens on diets over a period of time, you begin to convert your muscles into carbohydrates for energy. As bad as that is, you're now losing lean muscle mass, but the body then reacts in another really negative way, and that's slowing down your metabolism, okay? Because when you're going on a diet, what you're really deficient in is nutrition. It's nutritional deficiency. I wrote a book, actually, it's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office, a syndrome I discovered called TDOS. It stands for toxicity driven by nutritional deficiency, causing us to be overweight and stress. Those four factors undermine any chance you have to maximize your quality of life potential. And here's the thing. Every single breathing person in the world has TDOS syndrome because the water, the air, the food is loaded with chemicals. I don't know if you saw a couple of weeks ago, they came out and now said that in plastic water bottles, you're getting tens of thousands of microplastics. There was a big study out of Australia last year, and they estimate we're eating the equivalent of about a credit card per week in plastic. That is shocking. That is absolutely crazy. And you can see the ocean behind me. How's that happening? Because they're dumping huge amounts of plastic in the South Pacific, in the warm water, in the salt. And over a period of time, it breaks down the plastics into these microparticles that get sucked up into the air, into the clouds, and then they circulate around the world. My gosh, they're finding plastic at the top of Mount Everest, on the top of the Andes and the Pyrenees and the Rockies. And so we just keep wondering why diets are actually crazy. because the only way that your body can cope with all these chemicals, it takes those chemicals and stuffs them in our what's called our visceral fat. So your outer layer of fat, that's called subcutaneous or adipose, but the underlying, the visceral fat, is where we're storing the chemicals as a survival mechanism. So our body's literally evolving. The scientists have a name for these chemicals. They actually call them obesogens. What? Yeah. And they say they're reprogramming our hormones to force our body to store these chemicals in our visceral fat. That's why it's so hard to lose that fat around your middle. If you look at pictures from the 70s of people on the beach and look at the pictures of people, now, I mean, the stomach, the abdomen areas, it's crazy. But it makes sense because your liver and your kidneys are there and the body's trying to protect us. So the problem with these diets is the fact that in the long run, and it's not my opinion, okay, there's a big study done at the University of Minnesota where they looked at like 40 different studies, thousands of people, and they came to two conclusions. That yes, you definitely lost weight on any one of these diets, but it was primarily lean muscle. They also said, these were their words, not mine, there was a 100% guarantee on all the diets they analyzed in the long run. You go on a diet, you're going to gain weight. What? Yeah, that's what's going on. So how many of you have tried, you've gone on a diet, you've lost the weight, maybe you lost 15 or 20 pounds, you go off the diet, not gradually, sometimes you bring it back really quickly, and now you have 25 pounds to lose. So you go to Barnes and Noble or you watch one of these gurus on TikTok and you try one of these hacks that have, by the way, not one shred of medical evidence behind them. None, zero. The only studies that ever were done on diets up until now were not done by the diet protocols, but by other big medical journals like the New England Journal of Medicine, the Journal of the American Medical Association, the Annals in Internal Medicine. And what's so crazy is when they looked at all the diets, in 12 months, the averages were around between 16, 17, 18 pounds in a year, not in a month, in a year. Well, the good news is there were two new peer-reviewed human trials, the first ones ever on a very specific protocol, where the results were startling. After 40 years of research, the researchers headed by Dr. Paul Arciero, arguably the world's greatest nutritional researcher, what did they find? They found the average weight loss with men and women who were not allowed to exercise, by the way. And not that they were against exercise, but they didn't want that to be an outlier. Those people lost 16 pounds in a month. And instead of losing lean muscle, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. And the visceral fat we talked about, it went down by 33% in 8 weeks. And that wasn't even the good story. The good story was this, that blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, and inflammation all came down dramatically in just a month. Hunger went down by 41%, which makes sense because this protocol is not based on calories. It's based on nutritional density. It's based on how do you give your body the nutrition, regardless of the calories. So look what's happening. It's amazing how the body responds to what it needs so that it doesn't have to use its muscles, or in the worst case, like in anorexia, it ends up starting to eat your absolute organs. This is, the researchers said that they were so startled, they reran the analysis 3 different times. Because for 40 years, they've been looking at pretty much every diet out there. And they always did blood, stool, urine analysis, fat, lipid analysis, et cetera. So all I'm saying to you is that you might want to consider going to our website below. Click on it. You'll see the studies. You'll see the scientific results. Look, if you believe in science, I invite you to go there. It's not a trick. This is some sales funnel. And if you go there, we'll schedule a free consultation with you. Try and do that with the other gurus that are on telling you to do this hack, whatever. No, we take the time to explain it to you. We're on your side. The idea behind the New Health Conversation is to bring you the truth, to bring you and make you aware of what's available. We're not here to trick you or sell you or convince you. We don't want to do that. We don't need to. But I think we all need a place where we can go to really find out just based on science. We don't have celebrity endorsements. I guess our celebrities are the scientists that are actually conducting these peer-reviewed human trials. You just have to understand that just because it wasn't invented doesn't mean it wasn't possible. This really could change your life. And I invite you to go there, spend a few minutes, see what you think. This little form, fill it out. We'll do a free consultation with you. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'm going to continue to post as much and as many times as I can.